The Frozen North, episode 53. Get ready for 2015!
Hello and welcome to the Frozen North Gaming Podcast. My name is JJ and I'm here alongside my two friends, Mark.
Howdy, y'all!
He actively tries to not laugh after that.
Yeah, but the look on his face, I have to
painful. Howdy, y'all! And then he's like,
I wish I could have screen capped that for people because that was great.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, well done on your part, but
Hey, I am to please.
oh man. And as always, we are joined by our third friend and co-host, Brian.
hi guys, it's Brian. Here to talk about
Wait,
games. Wait.
Does that mean you're your own friend and co-host?
Yes.
If
Yes.
he's number 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Number
I
3.
am your friend and co-host.
that's true.
Here's my new
So-
intro. Number 3 on the podcast. Number 1 in your hearts.
There's that awkward silence again. Oh man, episode 53, guys. How we doing?
Man, doing well.
Man, seems like it was just yesterday. We were on episode 5 talking about how it was 20% more podcast than we've ever done before. Don't check those numbers because I just I'm winging this.
Oh my gosh. If this is your first time listening to us, we welcome you. Like I said, we are the Frozen North Gaming Podcast. We talk about video games. What kind of video games, Mark?
All kinds of video games that involve story and plot.
And a few others, if we feel like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just video games in general, honestly,
Yeah.
at this point.
Well, unless it's like Madden 2015, we wouldn't talk
It's got
about
a great
that.
story, Mark.
You know what? It depends on who you ask. I've heard a lot of people who invest a lot of stock into what happens in that kind of... Anyways, we're getting off track. So, if you would like to contact us, our email address is what, Mark?
FrozenNorthPodcast@gmail.com.
Excellent. And we have a website at what, Brian?
www.frozennorth.net.
It is not even remotely our website at all.
If I may, fngaming.net.
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my god.
Thank you for taking up enough time for me to think of it.
You're welcome, sir.
You mean for him to look at his notes?
Yeah.
We have a Facebook at facebook.com/thefrozennorth. Our Twitter is at FN Podcast. We have a blog at frozennorthpodcast.blogspot.com. And we're on iTunes where you can always subscribe to and rate us. We would appreciate it.
Also,
Thank you very much.
You can also subscribe.
You can subscribe.
Please subscribe.
You can,
It'll
Every
never
time.
die. It'll
Every
never
time.
die.
What?
it's all right. It's okay. Got to get me with something.
Oh.
So, what have we been playing? You know what? I'll start off. I don't think I ever start off.
Yeah. What have you been playing?
I have been playing World of Warcraft.
Right.
Obviously, we've been
Boo,
still
hiss.
keeping up on raids.
Yep.
You're just mad because you don't play anything for longer than 10 minutes. So an MMO is outside of your
What?
wheelhouse.
I will have you know I spent more than 10 minutes on each of the 2 games I'm going to list in a minute.
11 minutes?
12.
Yes.
15.
Yes. Accurate.
That's between the two.
Yeah, he just waits for the timer to go
Total.
off. In 10 minutes, he's like, I'm going to play for a whole another minute. Just show me.
I'm still chugging on through Pokemon Sapphire, and I have since Christmas was this past week. I've been actually playing Super Smash Brothers quite a bit. I actually
man.
played with Isaac.
Is it quite
couple of days
fun?
ago. It is. It's a blast. There's a lot of cool modes in there. My cousin and I did a lot of the co-op stuff.
Can you create, like in the one for the Wii, can you create levels?
Yes, and it's so much better because like the one in the Wii,
Yeah.
you basically pick from shapes that they have and you put them
Right.
in there. With the Wii U, the touchpad, you actually draw how you want the landscape to look and stuff.
Ooh, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm having a good time with it, and you can actually create your own characters as well,
Oh, cool.
which is cool. So, yeah, I'm having a real good time with that. I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. So I've already unlocked everybody, and it's a good time.
Question based on that. What I saw them at GameStop. What are amiibos?
They are little like statue type like
Right.
dudes of Nintendo characters that you can collect, which is what most people are doing, or you can actually use them to store game data.
So like your character can go in there.
Correct.
Okay.
So like you buy the Link amiibo, you tap it on, I think, the controller.
Yeah.
On the Wii, and then it stores all your wins and losses and all that stuff for Link.
So if you go to somebody else's house, you can just tap it on there and have your
Correct.
rank.
You got your
That's
record on there.
kind of cool if you think about it.
The only I'm afraid though, because like I think it'd be cool because Link is my guy that I
Yeah.
like to use on there. I would love to pick one up, but I know as soon as I get one, I'm going to be like, I have to get them all.
Want them all, yeah.
So I'm kind of sketchy to do that. And right now, I hear they're getting hard to find, which is stupid. I don't know why Nintendo's doing this. Like, I'm gonna gripe a little bit really quick about
ahead.
Nintendo. Shocker, I know.
Yeah.
So like, they come out with stuff that is so cool. I don't know why they don't run like make more of these things.
Right.
Like, there's so many amiibos that are hard to find, and people are already starting to price gouge some of them online. That, in addition to another perfect example, is the adapter for Smash Brothers for GameCube controllers. You look on Amazon, if you want to get it new with the Smash Brothers game, you're going to pay like $200.
Oh my gosh.
It's insane. The game came out for I think $60. Even just the adapter by itself is super expensive as well. It's like $50 or $60 used, I think, on eBay. I saw. Why wouldn't you just make more of those? People really want this, want to play it, and like it's basically like, if from what I understand, at some GameStops, if you they're still waiting on pre-orders to come in to get restocked. It's like, there's so many people that want this stuff. Why do you make so few?
Yeah.
Nintendo just does not plan anything in advance, from what I can tell.
They hate money.
They,
They're allergic to money.
I just, well, they claim to be all about fun and trying to, make things accessible for everybody. It's like, well, then make it accessible.
Right.
I want one. So, because I would love to use my GameCube controllers for this game.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But I mean, I've got the pad obviously, and then I've got a one of the Super Controller Plus thingies, which is nice. But I mean, the Wii motion controllers are terrible for this kind of thing. So, anyways, shocker! I know that I had to gripe about Nintendo again. I'll call it the new gripe.
The new
Mark, what have you been playing?
I just played the first episode of Telltale Games' Game of Thrones video game.
And
It's really good. I mean, if you like Telltale Games, it's good. If you don't, then you're not going to like it because it's more of the same. It's essentially a bunch of QuickTime events and dialogue-based decision-making. It's got 4 main characters from like the main TV series, which are actually voice acted by the actors from that show. So that's really cool as well. All in all, I mean, if you like either that developer or the book and TV series, you'll love the game as well.
nice. Yeah, I definitely am going to be checking that out. I think Brian said the same thing for sure. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, so
Yeah.
And Walking Dead obviously was awesome.
I haven't played that episode. I don't get it. I don't like buying Telltale games. I did it back when Sam and Max was big.
Yeah.
But it really annoyed me when I bought one episode at a time because I really wanted to play the next one. And so
Same way.
And I wouldn't have purchased this except it was 25% off for the whole 6-episode arc.
Gotcha.
So I figured I might as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And I like supporting them. But
Well, sure.
anyway, and the other game I'm playing is The Witcher 2. I'm in the middle of, I guess, Chapter 1. I've done the prologue and done a few of the missions. Already it's much better than the first Witcher.
Yeah.
Just much more playable, less frustrating, less confusing, although still fairly confusing.
Are you playing on PC?
Yeah,
Cool.
that's it.
All right. So there's Mark's 20 minutes that he's been playing.
What?
Sorry. Oh, no, we agreed on 11. My mistake.
22
I will
minutes.
say the first episode of the Game of Thrones thing was actually fairly long. I think it was like 3 hours, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Which
Crazy.
it seems like their first episodes are longer because they have to establish a lot more, and then
Yeah.
Right.
shorten them down to like 90 minutes of pop after that.
Cool. Brian.
World of Warcraft, obviously. Got my Death Knight main tank basically sitting for raids, and then I'm leveling an Alliance Druid.
Have you been getting gear in raids?
Oh yeah, I'm like
Oh, man, that must be nice.
I'm in the 650s now. I can't remember, but my eye level's pretty legit.
We have an ongoing joke in our guild that
Yeah.
I can never, ever freaking get gear in raids. I got 2 pieces last time because nobody else rolled on them, and I rolled, I think, like a 6 and a 1 or something.
One was a BOE drop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The life of Reeks. Anyway, and then also I finished my second playthrough. I am going to be reviewing BioShock Infinite for the month of January, and I wanted to refresh my memory, so I went back and played it again. So I've beaten the main game, and now I'm going to be playing the Under the Sea DLC this weekend, and I'll be ready to write.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Excellent. All right. News. What do we got?
All right. First bit of news is a new Saga game is coming out. Saga. It's a PS Vita game. It's been announced for 2015. It's got really no working title. It's got a working title, right? I guess I should say. But was announced at the 25th anniversary stream of Saga. Kinji Ito will most likely be handling the music. Also, Square Enix recently filed for a Saga Asterism trademark, which that could possibly be the title of the game. So look for it next year.
Now, have either of you guys ever played a Saga game?
I haven't.
I haven't, but I heard they're big.
They're really, really hit or miss. They're either really good or really bad. Like Unlimited Saga was my least favorite game of all time. I hate that game with a passion. But Saga Frontier, I absolutely adore, still to this day. So I'm and Romancing Saga is really good as well. I'm just kind of, I'll definitely check it out for sure. Plus, I mean, it's on the Vita. I just got a Vita finally.
Vitas are great.
I'm excited.
Vita is slowly starting to creep up on 3DS as far as like my favorite handheld. Still, I like 3DS a little bit better, but there's so many more games for the Vita now, so it's kind of starting to even out a little bit. Okay, moving on. Our friends over at the Suikoden Revival Movement now have an official website. Yay!
Excellent. Woo! Glad to hear that.
Head on over to SuikodenRevivalMovement.com for everything Suikoden. There is no bigger time to be a Suikoden fan, obviously, as number 2 finally hit PSN, and I'm sure that the Suikoden Revival Movement is not done there until Konami announces another game in that franchise.
That was kind of like a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Oh, absolutely. And I even if they do come out with a 6, I doubt they'll be done. I would imagine. And you know what? If Konami's smart, what they'll do is they will look to these guys for like some sort of consulting work.
Yeah, absolutely.
For real, because they are true fans of the series. They appreciate, obviously, talking to Ryan. They know what it's about. They know what the fans want from the series. And you know what? I hope they never go away.
No, I
be honest
agree.
with you.
They got a website now, so it looks like they're here to stay. So if you're a new Suikoden fan like myself, head on over to that website and enjoy the playground that is the Suikoden Revival Movement.
We need to plug one more time. It's out for PSN now.
That's right.
Suikoden 2.
$10.
Yeah.
Get Suikoden 2 and 1.
For the price tag, it's definitely worth the amount of content. I mean, hands down.
Great game.
Even with like 30 less characters, it would be worth the content, right, Brian?
40 to 50 less characters.
But with 108, you're getting a lot of
You're
characters.
right.
That's over 10 characters per dollar.
Yes. If you're doing a characters per dollar, you're correct.
That's the ratio right there.
All right. PSN and Xbox Live were hit pretty hard with the DDoS attack over the Christmas break. Probably not obviously the DDoS attackers knew that everybody was going to be off work and out of school and wanting to play, and I think that was the game.
Nobody noticed on the Xbox because MCC still doesn't work.
That's a pretty good point.
Wow, look at Mark making an Xbox joke.
Hey, man.
Nice.
So the DDoS attacks brought the PSN and Xbox Live networks to their knees over the holiday weekend. Guys, DDoS attacks. Let's talk about them for 1 second.
It stands for Distributed Denial of Service Attack.
Which is basically an overload of servers, basically pinging the server saying that you're a person when you're not. It's kind of a new form of hacking. I wouldn't call it
new.
Well, I would say it's a new form of trolling because typically with hacking you gain something like credit card numbers.
It's a new form of being an annoying little douche.
Yes. I honestly think these people need to get a life. Maybe pick up a gaming hobby.
Well, they can't because PSN and Xbox
right,
are down.
but I don't know. I feel like they may not be new, Mark, they're definitely on the
Well, yeah, because people have realized how easy it is to do.
Yes, and cloud servers are cloud serving. Is that how you say it? Cloud servering is becoming very, very, very big.
Yeah,
the cloud service of the servers in the
cloud surfing.
Well, so I think that with the emergence of the cloud being a big thing now, I think that's where DDoS attacks have started to
You're saying that they cause a lot of strife on the cloud.
Correct. Cloud strife.
Heyo!
Wow.
Mark, you're on fire today.
Mark, damn.
Look at you go.
Okay, well, and Mark, I appreciate the segue into our next story. Speaking of the Master Chief Collection, Owners of that collection will be receiving an exclusive ODST game remaster and a few other things as 343 Industries' apology for their continued struggles.
Yay, consolation prizes.
Yeah. What they'll be getting is a Halo 3 ODST campaign redone into 1080p with 60 frames per second, which is a pretty cool deal. That's my favorite game in the series. So
It's pretty good.
That's a pretty good apology. You're also going to be getting Relic Halo 2 Anniversary multiplayer map available via free content upgrade for anybody, obviously, with the Master Chief Collection. And then, obviously, you're getting 1 month free of Xbox Live Gold. So, and you're going to get an exclusive in-game nameplate and avatar. So, 343...
I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's being pretty humble about it and eating a little bit of crow.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't think it was as much 343 Industries' fault as it was Microsoft's fault.
Definitely.
For, I really hope this teaches Microsoft a lesson. You can't rush a game just to make a little money.
Right.
Because now you're losing money. You pushed the game up to hit the holiday season. It wasn't ready, and now you're losing money on it. So congratulations, Microsoft. You made a horrible business decision.
Way to pull an Ubisoft.
Yeah. Hopefully Microsoft learns from this and realizes that gaming's a little bit different. You can't literally just be greedy and throw a game out there. It will absolutely hit a wall like it did. And nowadays, where everything's online, you're going to pay dearly for it, which I think they have. And 343 Industries kind of caught in the middle.
This didn't used to happen so often when we didn't have connected consoles because
Correct.
you release the game, and if it's broken, it's just broken forever.
Right.
That's how it used to be. So
Yep.
Definitely.
And then Nintendo is working on its next console already, which may be powered...
Not the new 3DS.
No, it's a new actual console, and it may be powered by AMD, which suggests that Nintendo's starting to realize that while power is not everything, it is something. So I think they're going to be coming out with a real actual
Which also,
current gen.
the fact that they're going to a different chipset means they're probably not going to have backward compatibility.
Yes, of course.
Right.
Will Nintendo suddenly be the fastest horse in the race? Will they surpass PS4 and Xbox One as the most powerful system? I don't know. Is this a desperate attempt to right some wrongs of the Wii U? Maybe trying to get a new console out as fast as possible to maybe salvage a little bit of the. Because man, the Wii U, they just completely failed on that one. I'm sorry, I still have no plans on getting it. There's still nothing on the game console that I would want to buy right now. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. And lastly, will this new system be called the new Wii U 2 to confuse everybody involved?
The main issue, and that's funny. The main issue is that a lot of the flack that Nintendo is getting is from the hardcore gaming community.
Yes.
Nintendo is not a name that is synonymous with hardcore gamers. It may have been at one point, but now you think Nintendo, you think casual, family-friendly kid games, honestly. And I know a lot of people are not going to, like me saying that. There's people who are going to disagree and blah, 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 whatever. But no, that is the way it is.
Yeah.
People think Nintendo and they think kids. It's going to take something drastic for them to kind of not necessarily get rid of that image, but lessen it to where they can actually appeal to a more hardcore audience.
Right.
And I think this is a good move for them.
If you think about it logically, we're all of the age where we grew up with Nintendo being the hardcore gaming console.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they just kind of abandoned. Like most consoles grow up with their audience. Mm-hmm. Nintendo just kind of abandoned its big block of core that it kind of grew up with when it's hardcore.
I don't know that it was necessarily 100% their fault, though, because a lot of the franchises that were with Nintendo to start, like Final Fantasy, perfect example, they saw the PlayStation's capabilities and they were like, well, they're going to be disc-based, they're going to have a lot more capabilities for us. This is what we're going to do. Nintendo was like, well, screw you, we're going to keep going our own way.
I feel like Nintendo's stubbornness got in their way. I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're still, I love them to death, but they're still one of the most stubborn companies out there. So,
yep.
Cool. Anything else?
That's it, guys. That's it for news.
All right. Cool. We are going to do a quick Beyond the Game segment. And as always, our links are going to be in the links to those articles are going to be in our news section on the website.
Yep.
fngaming.net. What's the website, Brian?
fngaming.org.
.info?
.info. .edu.
.gov.
.gov.
.net.
.net.
All right. So, what do you guys think? Is there a point when a game becomes way too cinematic? Games used to be simply gameplay, and that was it. You might have like 3 or 4 lines of text, and then followed by tons of gameplay. Now we have games with 45-minute cutscenes, or I mean, I've heard rumors of other ones that are even longer. Do you feel there's a point where a game becomes too cinematic, and it's not even worth calling it a game at that point?
Yes and no, and I thought about this. I was actually playing BioShock Infinite, which is I'm marking this up really, really quick. I'm going to go yes and no on this.
What I like to hear.
But let me explain. As soon as I'm done explaining, it'll be completely off of what Mark usually does about just being right in the middle. I just got done playing BioShock Infinite, which is, I call it a Half-Life 2 narrative kind of game where you aren't really losing control of your character. The cinematics are happening around you. So you're kind of controlling your perspective on it. Like a ship gets, explodes. You don't have to look at it. You're controlling your character, yet there is still cinematic set pieces in the game. I think that's where games need to tread that line of player agency versus, because we've all played. I've played Metal Gear Solid 4, and it's a fantastic game. But having to put your controller down for 45 minutes to watch a scene is awesome, but at the same time, I feel, for me specifically, I love the Metal Gear Solid franchise, and I do, but it does take you out of the immersion, because you're literally, okay, now I'm watching a movie, now I'm watching a movie, now I'm watching a movie, and then back to playing. It almost feels like you're playing the game just to get from movie cutscene to movie cutscene to movie cutscene, rather than it's one fluid world where you're just moving about, and things are going on around you. BioShock Infinite's a great example where things are happening, and you're still in control of your character, and they're big giant set pieces. So I think you just need to tread the line where the point is to be cinematic. That's the point of a game. But there's the movie cinematic way, which I feel like should be left in Hollywood on the big screen. I want gaming to separate itself a little bit and be more interactive movie, where you are still in control of your character. You kind of have the control of the camera. So, there's a ship exploding, but then there's this building collapsing over here. Which one do I want to look at? Well, you choose. You know what I mean? You're in the world, so the cinematics are around you. That's kind of how I feel about it.
I feel like the question here is, the question we should be asking, the one that comes to mind is, what can games do that movies can't do? I'm not looking at that right now. What can games do that movies can't do? If we're just showing a bunch of cutscenes to someone like Brian said, then why isn't it just a movie? But here's a great example of a game that is basically just cutscenes that could never work as a movie. Dear Esther. Dear Esther is a game where you just walk through this little island, abandoned island, and listen to a narrator talk about stuff. And you look around, and you kind of have these hallucinatory visions. But it's up to you to take notice of things, find them out for yourself, and decide what it all means.
Definitely.
And it wouldn't work quite. It wouldn't be quite as interesting of an experience as a movie. On the other hand, you've got your Metal Gear Solid 4s with their 45-minute cutscenes where you're doing absolutely nothing and you've put the controller down. That's kind of maybe not where video gaming should go.
I don't think it matters. I don't mind it. Like I said, Metal Gear Solid has always been that way, and I still love the series to death. They're some of my favorite games. I just want gaming in general to find its own way to tell narrative. The biggest thing about gaming is player agency. Rather, with movies, you are being shown a perspective, and you cannot that perspective is being fed to you. You don't have the ability to change perspective. In a game with player agency, you get to choose what you see, what you don't see. It's all about that agency, and I want that to remain. Half-Life 2 did it very well, where the cutscenes were happening, but you could still walk around the room, do other things that you necessarily didn't have to be like forced perspective.
Can I give a Mark answer?
Go.
I don't want to choose. If I knew exactly how I wanted every game to be, I would just play one game series and leave it at that. But I want to have hundreds of different experiences that are unlike the last experience I had in the last video game. So I want games to be completely non-cinematic, fully cinematic, and everything in between.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
But can a game be too cinematic?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
What about
If every game started being way more cinematic, I wouldn't like that. But if,
Well,
if there was
okay.
a game that was an outlier that was really cinematic and I liked it,
let me give you an example of a game that I think can be too cinematic. The Walking Dead. Now I know that's how it's designed. I know, but hear me out for a second. I loved it. I loved the cinematics. I loved playing the game. I loved the story and everything. However, it got to the point where every time if all of a sudden you're watching a cinematic, you're listening to the story, really invested in what's going on, all of a sudden a quick time event comes up where you're supposed to crawl towards a gun or do something else. I honestly found myself rolling my eyes a lot of times, like, oh geez, I gotta play, I gotta do this, I gotta push this button really fast for like 10 seconds and then it's done. It's like, what was the point of even doing that?
yeah.
You know, I mean, would that, and honestly, that might not even be a case of a game being too cinematic, but maybe too little gameplay.
That would be what I consider an interactive movie, and Heavy Rain is
Definitely.
basically
Same way, yeah.
that game. It's basically Heavy Rain is a movie you're watching, but you're also interacting. So you're doing
What you said is definitely. I don't roll my eyes when that happens, but I found myself several times, even with Game of Thrones, where I'm interacting with the story, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, I'm playing a video game. I have to do this thing now.
Yeah.
And I see your point, but I also feel like those games sort of harken to the visual novels of Japan. Which have you played any visual novels before?
Not that I can recall off the top of my head.
They're essentially, I mean, they usually come out in handhelds. They're basically just reading a bunch of text and making decisions and watching cutscenes.
Like a choose your own adventure.
no.
Basically, yeah.
I don't think not.
So and they're
anything
really
memorable.
popular. I don't have a problem with them because they're not like taking over the industry. Not every game's turning into that.
Right.
So for me, it's just another option for more variety.
Right.
Agreed.
See, and that's the thing is there are a lot of games that people do feel like a good example. Final Fantasy X, when it first came out, a lot of reviewers went into that. They played it, and like people who fans of the series were like, "Oh, you got to check this game out. It's great. You should totally review it." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
A lot of people went into it that were reviewers, played it, and then were like, "What game is here? It's all walking and fighting for 2 minutes, and then cutscene."
And they said the same thing about the Xenosaga games.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Which I thought were fantastic.
And as did I. But there's people out there who feel that those were too cinematic, and I think a lot of that also had to do with the time because we were just coming out of that. Everything was gameplay, and with like 5-second cutscenes we're making these big giant story based cutscenes and putting them into the games. People weren't used to it yet because nowadays we have tons of games like that where it's very cinematic. There's a lot of scenes going on, and people don't mark that as a huge complaint as often, at least from what I can tell. So I think that was also part of the time. But I don't know. I mean, I think Brian's absolutely right. I think it all comes down to immersion and what's going to make you feel like you're actually in this world as opposed to a movie when you're just watching it from an outside perspective. And I think that your point exactly about like being able to walk around while stuff is going on and doing things is a great way to do that. Now, if there's too much going on and I'm walking around to where I can't focus on it, like Borderlands, it's hard for me to get into because then I'm like, I don't even know where to start.
It
right
needs
now.
to be done right.
Exactly.
And there are some things that you can't give player agency 100% control. Even in BioShock Infinite, I could still move my head, but I couldn't go anywhere because they want you to see something that's like the biggest fear of a storyteller. I know that I've heard it said on multiple occasions is that if you make a game like Half-Life 2 or like BioShock Infinite where it's a player-driven story, what if they miss a huge plot piece?
Right.
Yeah, that's why Valve does extensive playtesting.
Yep.
And change entire parts of the game sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they're still playtesting Half-Life 3. So,
But I don't think a game can be too cinematic, but a game with too much cinema can pull you out of the immersion because all games are literally so you have paintings, and then you have books I call them static immersion. Like you can get immersed in a book, you can get immersed in a painting, but only to a certain extent. And then movies take it a step further because now you have basically a moving picture where now you're even more immersed. And then gaming's that another step forward where now you're even more immersed because you are controlling your world. And then obviously we've got Oculus Rift coming out, which is another step forward. We're basically keeping these steps
followed by holodeck.
correct. Well, but it's true. Like we keep making those steps towards the whole a world we create.
It makes you wonder how they're going to handle cutscenes with the Oculus Rift.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
that's-
are they gonna? Because it would be weird.
If you had to look,
It'd be weird if you
you
couldn't
can't do-
look
you can't
around
do-
and it just showed you one specific
Right.
point of view the entire time, no matter what you did.
and you can't do third person just in general.
Yeah,
You have to
exactly.
be first person.
It's just I'm very very curious to see how they do that. So should be interesting.
Although I wouldn't mind if you did a third-person game with Oculus Rift. When a cutscene happens, you can move the camera with your head.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
absolutely. So I don't know. We
just
a lot
keep
of cool
seeing-
stuff coming out.
I don't know. I just think that this is a really good Beyond the Game, because this is kind of the age-old question of what are games.
yeah.
Well, in my opinion, they're a step forward from movies.
This is a classic question, but like every generation, it's got completely new
Context.
angle to it.
Yep. We get more context as we get more and more advanced. So
But I think you're 100% right in that the goal of any sort of virtual type narrative or storytelling is going to be immersion. How immersed are you going to get?
Correct.
And we keep pushing ourselves towards becoming more and more immersed in these
Holodeck,
worlds, these
yeah.
stories, and everything like that. Yeah,
bet.
absolutely.
Well, I mean, all art is escapism. You know, it's anybody who says fiction and art is not escapism is not right. All of it is a way to escape what life is, to have to move away into this different world, right? And so we're always trying to create worlds. Well, games are just another step in that, or another cog in that machine to keep going until eventually we can actually create worlds.
Right.
I mean, that's where we're heading.
And it's actually, Mark, it's funny that you say it like that. When Star Wars: The Old Republic came out, the MMO, I got the collector's edition, the big box.
Yeah.
And I showed the opening cutscene to my dad because he's a big Star Wars fan also, and I was like, "You got to see this. This is awesome." Show it to him, and he's watching, Jedi Knights and Sith just go at it and stuff blowing up and stormtroopers and all this stuff and everything. And he's like, well, that's stupid. Why don't they just make a movie out of this? It looks really good. And I was like,
But
in his mind, that's what made sense because he came from when movies were getting big and all that
bet.
stuff like that. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, but I get to actually play in that world.
Yeah.
I get to be a part of it.
I get to fight in that battle.
So it's like, to me, that seemed more exciting. So absolutely, it comes on like, as we move forward, which generation, is looking at what part's going to be the most immersive for them.
Yep, you bet.
So cool. Anything else?
I think that's
Anybody
it.
else?
So
All right.
I guess the answer to the question is a game can't be too cinematic, but then you're blurring the line of whether it's a
Exactly.
game.
I was going to say the same thing. It's like, can a thing be too cinematic? No. But could being too cinematic stop it from being a game?
Sure.
Yes.
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Deep.
thoughts with Bramarkin. That's our mashup name.
Bramarkin?
Bramarkin.
Brock?
I like
Brock?
Brark.
Oh, we can high five again.
Only
can.
this
It's
episode.
nice.
Yeah.
Don't you have to do 2 every time? No?
I can't reach you.
That hurts. Wow. Wow.
He can't.
There goes Mark's paycheck for the week.
Woo!
All right. Top 5.
Top 5.
We are, since 2014 is winding down, in all honesty, I didn't think this year was that great for gaming. It was decent, but it wasn't spectacular.
I think this year, 2014 will be the year of gaming lessons. What did we learn? Bad launches, bad lunches, and bad brunches.
Oh,
I don't know what's happening right now.
you just blew my mind, man.
Thank you.
We'll talk more about that when we do our top 5 from 2014, somewhere like a month from now.
You
or
bet.
So. But I think 2015 is looking to be incredible.
It has very high potential rating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just based on, what big titles are coming out. And so we are doing our top 5 games that we're looking forward to in 2015.
Oh!
Honorable mentions. Mark, what do you got?
Mark,
I forgot.
He told us before the show that he didn't have any honorable
Yeah.
mentions.
I can think of one honorable mention without trawling through a bunch of lists to remember what games are coming out.
Okay.
And it is The Witness for the PlayStation 4.
You just had to announce it like that. The Witness!
Man, I'm looking forward to this game because it is made by the creator of Braid.
Well, there you go.
There you have it.
I don't know anything about it, to be honest with you. How about Final Fantasy Type 0? Looks interesting. Looks like it could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse?
Gonna pick that one up.
Man?
It's my guilty pleasure. I don't know if I would put it on a list.
X?
Huh?
X.
Oh, yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles.
Xenoblade Chronicles X. The only reason it's not on my list is because I'm still not a huge fan of the battle system, and if they didn't change it much, then
Yeah,
I don't really want to.
that's good ones.
I thought of an analogy the other day on Xenoblade's battle system. It's like lukewarm coffee. So, like, you've got your slow-paced turn-based battles, right? Cold coffee. People like iced coffee. They like drinking stuff that's been chilled.
Yep.
Then you've got your fast-paced action RPGs where stuff's flying across the screen, going absolutely ballistic.
Right.
Hot coffee, typical, what most people probably like.
All right.
And you've got right in the middle, which is Xenoblade's battle system, which is not very slow but not very fast.
It's MMO-esque.
And it's like lukewarm room temperature coffee. Tastes like crap.
Terrible.
It plays like an
Yeah.
MMO.
You need to throw some ice cubes in that coffee or put it in the microwave.
It's because it's got an auto attack feature, so it feels very MMO-esque.
Yeah, it just wasn't. Blah. So
Yeah, those are solid ones. Yeah, Xenoverse, I would put it on my honorable mentions list, but
yeah, because I'm looking forward to it,
I-
man. But
I
it's
am
not like
too.
my game of the year. Hell
yeah,
no.
I am too. But with Dragon Ball Z games, you have to, I guess, err on the side of caution.
No, I'm just excited for it.
Yeah,
I have
absolutely.
no qualms about saying it's probably going to be terrible.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I really hope it's going to be pretty cinematic and very good.
I hope it's going to
Yeah.
be good. All right,
Awesome.
there you go. All right, top fives. Mark, why don't you start us off?
My top 5 is Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
That's your top five?
He did do it
Every time.
He did do it. He did.
Oh.
Mark.
So
Yes.
that's all 5 games. today. So Mark's done.
My number 5 is Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Now, when they went down there, did they meet some big daddies and some little sisters?
No, they didn't go to that Rapture, dude. Come on. This is
I even got
this
that
is from the Chinese Room, who made Dear Esther, who also made the expansion or the side game to Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs. And they're working with Sony Santa Monica this time to make an exclusive for the PlayStation 4, which is upsetting to me because I don't own a PlayStation 4, which means I'm going to have to buy one.
Yes, you are. Hashtag Mark 2000. Damn
one. I was
it.
just about to say it.
Hashtag Mark PS4 2015.
Yep.
Hashtag make better console purchasing decisions.
The Witness, as I mentioned, is also PS4
We
exclusive.
want that trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's never going to
No, I know. But you know what? If we can get like 2 people to retweet it,
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
Done.
There's not really much to say about this game. They haven't shown much about it, but just the people working
It's just
on
the
it
fact
is
that you don't
enough.
play very many games, so you're
No,
excited for
that
like
is not why. It's because they've made some excellent games, and this guy really, the head guy of the Chinese Room, really likes to experiment with what games can be.
right.
So
Cool.
there you have it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go. My number 5 is the new Star Wars Battlefront. I absolutely adored the last Battlefronts, both of them. Unbelievable. Had a great time with them. Still, every now and then, my cousin who lives down in Florida, we kick on Battlefront 2 on Steam, and man, I just love. Half your group is around flying in ships, blowing each other up,
Yep.
shooting down the big ships while everybody else is actually on the ships, do first-person shooting. It's just such a blast. So much they can do with it, and the fact that it's going to be next gen now, so
Are
excited.
you nervous that it's EA?
I don't know. I feel like it's not that EA puts out bad games. It's just that they are.
They have a propensity for chopping off a lot of content and selling it to you.
right.
So is it going to be enjoy Battlefront? Here's this map for $9.99. Here's this ship. Oh, hey, pilot the TIE fighter for $2.99. You know what I mean?
Hopefully it's not like that.
That's kind of where
Hey, let's give EA some credit.
Okay.
They are really good at buying great studios and making them good.
I mean, if microtransactions show up in that game, will you be a little upset?
Depends on what the microtransactions are. If they're all cosmetic, I don't care.
Okay.
If they're like actual buy this or you can't beat the game.
Battle on
then I'll be
Tatooine,
like,
Battle
come
on
on.
Tatooine for $9.99.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, don't ruin
So,
this for me.
I'm just saying, knowing EA, mind you, they
You're
made
right. That's what sucks.
like knowing EA, even though Mass Effect I would consider their best, licensed property, they still had day one DLC or pre-order incentive DLC. Which
Yeah.
If you liked the old Battlefront games, you should play the new Halo games because a dozen of the top people from those games went to 343 Industries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Cool.
Just to derail the topic a little bit.
Yeah. But anyway,
So that's my number 5, Star Wars Battlefront. Thanks a lot, Brian.
I just wanted to
Way to
know.
ruin Christmas.
I wanted to know if that was something that you would made you nervous.
Brian, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Metal Gear Solid 5.
MGSF.
MGSF. Not wrong, because it does start with an S.
True enough.
MGS 5, Metal Gear Solid 5. Like I said earlier on the podcast, Metal Gear Solid is one of my favorite series. And Metal Gear Solid 5 looks to be incredible, to be honest with you. Open world?
Yeah. Open world stealth game.
Are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's definitely on my top 5 for 2015.
Heck yeah. I don't blame you. Mark, number 4, sir.
My number 4 is Quantum Break,
Hey, an Xbox exclusive.
made by Remedy. Do you know who Remedy is?
They're making Quantum Break.
They, they are making Quantum Break.
They are.
You got me there. They made the original Max Payne games.
Yep.
They also made the Alan Wake games. And now they're making Quantum Leap, the video game.
Are they really?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it's kind of similar. There's a science experiment that went wrong, and now the main character can control time in weird ways, like freeze it, go into bullet time, do all kinds of cool stuff.
That's Quantum Break.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quantum Break. And
The game you're talking about.
I'm talking about it right now. That's my number 4.
Why did you go Italian?
Quantum Break.
Why did you go Italian?
Why'd
It's
you
not
go Italian?
I'm not being. You're being racist by assuming that's Italian.
I am Italian, so
Yeah, he's Italian.
All right,
I
well,
don't
then-
like when people say Italian.
Then let
It's
the
annoying.
record show that I didn't accurate Italian.
You did
Excellent.
not. Anyways, Quantum Break. I don't know. I really.
The gameplay video looked very good. I'll admit that.
I'm very.
It's on Xbox, though. How
Here's the
good
deal.
could it be? Let's be honest here.
This is a game I don't know that it's going to be incredible, but I really, really want it to be incredible because it's unique and it's from a studio that I really, really like.
Sure.
And there's other
Makes sense.
games like, I could put Halo 5 on there, but I know that's going to get like a B from me.
True enough. All right, then. Mark's number. What was that, your 4? 4, Quantum Break.
My top 4.
My number 4 is Zelda Wii U, but it shows up later on somebody else's list, so we'll talk about it then. Ryan.
My number 4 is The Order 1886. A PS4 exclusive that I cannot wait to get my hands on after seeing the game. You know, when it first debuted, they had that cutscene where they're by the wagon and they're like, there's fog and you kind of had a shroud of mystery. You were like, I don't know. And then they showed the gameplay. Mm-hmm. Oh!
Yeah,
Yes.
I had no idea what it was about, and then, man.
That
because
gameplay.
this was one of the ones I was going to put on my honorable mentions until I saw you had it on yours. And
And I was excited, obviously, because a PS4 exclusive is always when and it looks like a new IP. I was like, okay, I got a cutscene. I didn't really know much about it, but then they showed the gameplay, and I was like, oh my god, I want to play this so much.
it looks awesome.
Yeah, it does.
It really does.
So that is my number of 4.
Solid. Mark, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Zelda Wii U, which JJ had as his number 4.
Correct.
And now we are discussing it.
Start us off, Mark.
So, how do you feel about the cel-shaded graphics in Zelda Wii U?
I think it looks beautiful.
Oh,
They
Wind
look
Waker.
really good, don't they?
You know what though? Let me stop you right there. I think it's actually a mix between Wind
Yeah.
Waker. It's in between Wind Waker and Skyward Sword. They kind of meshed them
Yeah.
because
It's not as heavy-handed as the cel shading.
yeah, Skyward Sword had more of that pastel painting
Definitely.
look, and then the Wind Waker was pretty starkly cel shaded. But this game, when I saw the video, looks kind of a mix.
In a way, it almost looks like a storybook.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not 100% sure still what open world Zelda means, because to me, all the other Zeldas were open world. But the fact that, what they showed on the gameplay videos that they've released so far, and just how far you can go.
Isn't
and
the world huge? Like,
Oh, yeah.
ridiculously
Massive.
huge.
It's
Massive.
like Zelda meets Skyrim.
Wow.
If they would just add experience points. I hate killing stuff in that game because I don't get anything for it.
You get heart
How I
containers and
always feel in
you get
Zelda.
little hearts and
Why am I
money.
fighting these guys? Leave me alone.
Rupees.
Yeah, you get the rupees.
A lot of times you don't. Sometimes you kill stuff and you get nothing.
By the way, why is Zelda's currency system the same as Russia?
Weren't those ruples?
Ruples, sorry. Rupees. Ruples.
Brian,
Just deep
Did
thoughts.
anybody else just hear that train just completely derail right there? Just want to.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Rupees
let it
is
go.
a national. It's like
Just let it go.
Is this your top three? Number 3?
Yes!
Even my comeback.
Yeah. Is this your top 3? No.
No, technically it's not at all.
Mark, we do top 5 here on the Frozen North.
Anyways, to summarize, Zelda Wii U looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks amazing, and I don't know why Mark's looking forward to it because he's never going to get a Wii U.
Well, now that we've heard that news that they're making another Wii console, I'm definitely not getting a Wii U.
I am absolutely stoked for it, though. I mean, anytime a new Zelda game gets announced, I'm excited for it. So we'll have to wait and see, but it looks spectacular already. So, all right, Mark's number 3. All right, my number 3 and Brian's number 3 is the same.
We've got the same number 3.
We do. It is The Division.
Ubisoft's The Division.
Oh my gosh, this game! The more I see of this game,
It just keeps looking better and better.
yep.
How would you describe it though? It's kind of like it's almost a Destiny-esque, like online concurrent. What do they call that? A concurrent online shootery, McGavin.
Right, but it doesn't seem like you can only play with like 4 people at a
Right.
time.
Right. I think it's more of a open world type.
It
Post-
almost seems like get your friends, go into this world, and see how long you can survive.
Yes, exactly. It's
Like, you can bet Brian and I are going to be teaming up day
yeah.
one, freaking just going out there and doing what we can do.
like JJ, go behind this car quickly.
We're right. And then we get somebody else on their tablet coming in with the little drone
Yep.
stuff. Man, it looks so cool.
I feel like Ubisoft is really starting to spread their wings as far as integrating a lot of different features. They did that one app with
Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs. It
Yeah.
was really cool. I think they're continually trying to innovate. Obviously, they're going to fall flat sometimes, but I don't ever fault a company for trying something new and failing, because at least they're trying something new.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? This is my whole argument when we talk about Final Fantasy 13 versus old Final Fantasies. I want them to continue to try something new, do something different. I don't ever want them to be like, well, we're just going to go back and do what we used to do. 'Cause you don't get any better that way. And that's how I feel about Ubisoft. And that's why The Division is so exciting to me, because it's something new, you know? It's something that hasn't been done before, and you know, some companies going to hit big, and then that's going to be the new trend. You know how with open world games, when GTA first hit the scene, that was something brand new, and then boom, it exploded. And look how many open world games we have now. So I love it when companies push the envelope and try to innovate.
Yep. It just looks so much
Oh,
fun.
it did.
really does.
Hours of just surviving and shooting and the graphics alone.
Can I be a Debbie Downer for a second?
Uh-oh.
I just have a rule with Ubisoft that I always skip the first game in a series because I oftentimes have a
So what if
broken
there's
first
only
game.
one game in the
Okay.
series?
Man,
You're referring
that's
to
why you guys are buying it, so that there will be another one,
You're
and then I can get on board.
You're referring to Assassin's Creed, and yes, Assassin's Creed 1 was rough, but that's really the only game that they came out
But I mean,
with.
look at Far Cry 2 versus Far Cry 3. I made the right... Well, I didn't wait.
Far Cry 2
Never mind.
wasn't the first game in the series.
But it was the first game they made in the series.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was Crytek before them.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
Okay. Far Cry 3 was a great game, though.
It was so much better than the second one.
All right. So, that is the best number 3 possible.
It's the top 3.
The Division. All right. Whose turn is it? That's you and I. That's Mark. Mark, your number 2, sir.
My number 2 is Final Fantasy 15, but it shows up later on someone else's list. So we'll move on.
Okay.
All right. My number 2 is probably a surprise to everybody.
No, honestly, no. It would have been on my list if it was in my personal honorable mentions. But it, obviously,
I am absolutely excited for Star Fox Wii U.
yep.
I freaking love the whole franchise so far.
Love Star.
It's
Star
a
Fox.
rail shooter. Would I love to see like more openness in the new one? Absolutely. And they haven't really shown much of it, which kind of sucks. I wish they would, especially since they said it's coming out before Zelda.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that they haven't shown more. But man, I just cannot wait. I'm really, really, really keeping my fingers crossed for some online co-op, or at least some local co-op.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be just awesome. And I mean, what else is there to say? It's Star Fox, man. Star Fox 64. I played for hours. I've beaten that game so many times just because it was so much fun. The branching paths that you can take, and
I need to get it on the 3DS. It's one of my big must buys. Star
Yep.
Fox 64 3D.
it is just man, I can't wait. I am super, super excited. You can Bet your rear that I will be buying that day one.
Yeah, the only reason I don't have any Wii U's games on my list is because I'm not even sure I'm going to be getting a Wii U in 2015. So
Understandable.
Yeah.
Completely understandable. Especially with everything that's coming out on PS4.
Exactly.
So, like,
my
what time will I have?
My PS4 is gonna start paying for itself here soon.
Yep. Okay. So that's my number 2, Star Fox Wii U. Brian, what's your number 2, sir?
My number 2 is The Witcher 3, but I don't want to talk about it right now because it's on somebody else's list. So I'm gonna wait.
That was so edgy of you.
Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. Number 1s, man. Mark, what's your number 1, sir?
Where's my list?
I would hope you would know what your number 1
He
is.
just said, "Where's my?" Keep that in.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Number 1
He has stumbled through
is
this top.
The Witcher.
He
3,
just said it 2 seconds ago. Literally.
which is Brian's number 2.
Oh man, you have fumbled through this top
Okay,
5.
my list starts at 5, but it's got Roman numeral 1. So I'm like, I got confused because I saw Roman numeral number 5 when it was.
You don't
number
know
1.
what number 1 you have?
Man, I knew, but there's so many words on the screen, I got confused. The Witcher 3. So the Witcher series is one of the more hardcore, in-depth Western RPGs, I would say, out of a lot of them. You've got your Fables and your Skyrims and your Dragon Ages, but this is by far the one that really makes your choices matter.
It's more of a European RPG.
True. But we kind of just
We lump two
we
categories.
lump that all
Yeah.
in into one category. This is the game that Peter Molyneux wishes he had made with Fable when he
Yeah.
said that all your choices will matter and that you
Definitely.
can plant a
Yeah.
seed and a tree will grow from it, which never happened in Fable.
Yep.
So I'm hoping Brian will step in here for a second.
Oh, The Witcher 3. I mean, it's one of my favorite franchise gaming.
Man, this game sounds awesome, you guys. I
Witcher
can't
3.
wait for it. Jeez.
Witcher 3 is one of my favorite gaming series franchises. Has absolutely ridiculous high fantasy, and it's not like your typical high fantasy where
I was just going to say that. Yeah,
it's
I
not like elves and dwarves. It's literally an all. It's from a. Is it what kind of? It's a.
I don't know.
From a novella. It's from a novella.
It has more of a Brothers Grimm feel to it.
Yes.
It's not like the classic Tolkien JRR style fantasy. It's,
Yeah, instead of like ogres, you have Straga.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
You guys are struggling.
I don't know how.
Man.
What do you mean? We're not struggling.
Oh, I can't wait till you go back and listen to this and you'll be like, oh man, I was struggling.
What's my number 1?
No.
Anyway, The Witcher 3. Honestly, though, The Witcher 3 is probably. It actually was my number 1 most anticipated game, and then I saw a video, which we'll talk about in a minute.
True enough. All right. Mark's number 1, Brian's
You're
number
supposed
2.
to carry that because you're
The
like
Witcher 3.
in love with this series.
Wait. Whoa. I'm supposed to carry that, but that was your number 1 and most anticipated
Very
game
true.
of
100% true.
I feel such an excitement for it, but I don't have the in-depth knowledge that you do as someone who's played
You
it.
couldn't even remember it.
But I can't remember what I played yesterday.
Probably because you didn't play anything.
What? I did too.
What'd you play?
I already told you. Hold on, let me scroll up.
See, you did not play anything
What did
yesterday.
you do? My brain just can't think.
Oh, man. All right.
Can't,
All right.
Don't put me on the spot.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but go ahead.
All right. Number 1s. Oh, my gosh. I can't even breathe. My number 1 and Brian's number 1 are the same, and they also match Mark's number 2, Final Fantasy 15.
Woo!
Oh, man. That jumped my list. There was a video that just was released.
The one with the English voice actors.
Yes, and you see Titan.
Yeah.
You see a behemoth walking in the woods, and I got goosebumps. Just like, oh my, like that's kind of how you always pictured Final Fantasy games. Like,
Yep.
what would it be like to walk around in the woods and see a behemoth walk by you? That's exactly what it showed. Just this giant creature, and it looked exactly like you would imagine a Final Fantasy behemoth looks. But it's just, it was so glorious. That video So glorious. It jumped my list all the way. It made me #1 most anticipated.
Titan in the video was massive.
Oh, my
and the
God.
fact that they said that's exactly how he's going to look when you summon him, which is awesome that they're bringing real summons back.
I love that. Yep.
because motorcycle summons were not really my thing.
They were cool, but they weren't like
Come
as
on,
epic as some of the summons in the past have been.
motorcycle summons.
I didn't mind. Well, there was only one motorcycle. Yeah.
I'm really excited to have some fresh blood handling the main Final Fantasy series.
Yeah,
I didn't write down his name, but
He's a Japanese man.
he's done some of the side stories, some of the side games in the past.
what position? Who are you talking about?
The game director. There's actually 2 listed.
Tabata,
but one
isn't
of them,
it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the one that's currently game
I
director.
believe so.
After
yeah.
what's his name stepped down.
I don't even remember. But
Fresh blood is always good, especially when some people feel like the last main game in the series was kind of.
honestly, as much crap as I give 13, though, one of the things that I have to give credit to the series as a whole is that no matter who you are, chances are you're going to find a game in that series that you like. And, I mean, 13 just goes to show you because there's a lot of people who do like it who aren't big fans of the older ones.
Right.
But it's still a part of the series. Much as I hate to admit it, it is.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely going to be something in there for everybody. And I think this game looks to expand on that. You're going to see a lot of people who are big into open worlds and obviously powerhouses because, man, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it does.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you guys read about the setting at all? I went to Wikipedia after watching that trailer.
Niflheim
and,
was mentioned.
well, what I read was that there's sort of a technological disparity in the world. Like the main nation is in a modern type of setting. Well, like 15 minutes in the future kind of world, where it's very much resembling our current technological period, but a little bit more advanced. But the rest is sort of in like a dark ages because of constant war. So there's this technological disparity, which could be really interesting if they play with it right.
And from what I understand, the main city that you're from gets attacked, and you're outside of it at that point, and instead of going back, you decide to just stay on the road with your car.
I like that scene where they're like, we should just stay on the road. Like, we have no choice.
First female Sydney.
Cindy.
Sydney.
Or Sid. Is it Sydney?
Yeah, she's the first female Sid.
It's Cindy.
Like
Sid.
like Sydney, Australia.
Sid.
Cindy. It says in the subtitles,
Sydney.
Cindy. Yeah,
Because
watch
the
video.
game has been Sid. It's always been Sid.
In the subtitles, it's C-I-N-D-Y. Cindy.
I don't think that's right.
We watched it last night. People are thinking it's Sid because she kind of looks like how Sid dresses, but her name's Cindy, according to the subtitles. At least. I mean,
Features the first female Sid. I mean, that's literally the article.
well, yeah, by a guy who probably misheard
Okay,
it.
technically she is a Sydney. C-I-D-N-E-Y.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the
Yeah, Sydney.
Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, Cindy would make no sense.
So what it said in the subtitles.
Did not say that in the subtitle.
It sure did.
Well, that's a typo because it's
Like I said,
Sydney.
I'm not discounting.
If Brian is right, we will re-record this entire episode.
No, I mean, it could be Sydney, but in the subtitles we were watching, it said Cindy.
Who subtitled it?
It was in a foreign language. So, but it could be
Yeah,
just a miss.
it's 100% Sydney.
Sydney. I
Yeah.
said Cindy when we watched it, but either way, it's not technically Sid, but it's close enough.
Yeah, there are some people who are saying, it looks like the French trailer had it as,
Cindy. Yeah,
Cindy.
that's the one we watched. Yep.
yep, but everybody else is saying it's Sydney,
Right.
which would make way more sense.
But it's not
because
even spelled
Sid,
like Sid's C-I-D,
C-I-D-N-E-Y.
but Sydney's S-I-D-N-E-Y.
Not in this, because the character's name that appears in every Final Fantasy game is Sid.
I'm just saying, Sydney's spelled with an S.
It's also spelled with a Y
Yeah.
instead of an I. Right, but not in this. Sid.
Sydney, like Sydney, Australia.
C-I-D-N-E-Y in this.
I'm gonna say we have no idea at this point. It's all speculation.
I'm reading the freaking official articles here on Kotaku.
That's written by a guy who watched the video.
Yeah.
So it's
And
not
it was
official.
also at the actual festival where they released it.
What are you showing me? Right? Hold on. Mark's showing me Sleeping Dogs. For
That was not like that.
Why are you
That
showing
was a hand
Sleeping
gesture.
Dogs?
That was a hand gesture of frustration. Not.
Oh, I
not
thought he was trying
observe.
to. Brian, look. I'm like, what?
No,
is
I was like,
Sleeping Dogs.
oh, come on, because I went to the official Final Fantasy 15 website, but there's no like links to any.
So it is spelled with a C. I mean, that's cool. I mean, it
Yeah,
makes sense.
C-I instead
Well,
of
and we
S-Y.
call her Sid for short.
Cindy and
Correct.
Sydney are both spelled with a C.
Correct. But no, he's saying Sydney is typically spelled with an S, which it is. S-Y.
Right.
And this is C-I because that in every other Final Fantasy game. I don't know why this is so hard. Every Final Fantasy game, there's a Sid.
I'm with you. I'm not
I don't
with
see why
Brian
this
on
is
this.
so hard.
What was Sid in Final Fantasy 13?
Yeah.
12?
Yeah.
See, look at this website. Where
Yeah, Sid in 13 was
There's usually like a-
sort of bad guy.
Oh, gotcha.
you can usually go to like a website and
He's
find
a
a list
staple.
of characters.
Yeah. Interesting.
So 1-0, I win.
We'll see. We don't. This so new. We don't know yet.
We 100% know
We don't.
that it's the Final Fantasy series, and that's what they do.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Oh my god, this guy doesn't get it.
When I have the game in my hands.
Anyways, the game looks spectacular.
It does.
It looks
We're
absolutely
way
amazing.
off topic, but yes, it does.
We can't prove him wrong because he doesn't want to look at guides. So he's just going to have to wait and play it for
True
himself.
enough.
That's
true
true.
enough. Mark, do you have anything to say? It was your number 2.
Well, I mean, I did say I really like the idea behind the setting. I'm glad that they are bringing fresh blood into it. The bromance aspect could be really cool or really dumb, depending on how they handle it. But I mean, what I've seen so far just looks incredible.
I hope that I would like to see him bring the job system back eventually. They won't in this, but
Did you guys kind of notice that each one of the guys in the game kind of resembled a protagonist from old Final Fantasy games? Like, the blonde-haired one looked like Cloud. The dark-haired tall one looked like Squall a little bit. I thought that was kind of a cool parallel.
I don't know. I never really noticed.
I didn't notice anything.
I did. I just thought that
wasn't
maybe
paying
it was.
attention.
I thought it was designed that way.
Blonde-haired guy looks more like Zell from 8.
Think?
Yeah.
I thought he had more like the Cloud, spiky hair.
Well, Zell had spiky hair too, but Zell also had that one whoosh shooting up in the front, and that's what that guy has.
I like this. Cool, man. It'd be a cool parallel though if that was like the case.
Because of their hair.
I don't know, man.
You'll concede that they're the same because of their hairstyle, but you won't concede that freaking Sydney's
All I
name is
said-
going to be Sid.
All I
This is
know,
Lord, even though that's proven.
all I know is that in the subtitles we watched, it said Cindy. That's why I was like, oh,
Yeah, it's a typo.
whatever.
Why were you watching the French version of the trailer?
Why not?
Why not?
Wasn't there an
You still
English
get to
version of the
see it.
trailer?
Yeah.
It is English. It was just subtitled in French.
Okay.
Oh man. All right, so that is our top 5 games that we are looking for in 2015. Brian's wrong.
We went pretty off the
mean-
rails on this top 5.
No joke. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Mark.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think that about wraps it up though for episode number 53. Does anybody have anything else?
It was Sydney, not Cindy.
I guess we'll find out.
Correct.
That was
Would you stop saying that? It's Sydney. It's full on Sydney.
Has Square Enix come out and said that's her name? Then it's
I don't know.
speculation.
I would
then
admit-
it's speculation. You might be right. You're probably 90% gonna have that right. But until it's literally in the game, no one knows. They could change the name.
You realize you're stretching like big
No.
time. Yeah,
No. Oh, I'm not.
You're stretching.
I know.
I'm not.
It's okay.
I don't even have that
How am I
written on my
stretching?
notes. I can tell you're
So
stretching.
you
without the notes.
you read an article from a Kotaku guy who watched the same video I did.
Who was there when they announced it?
Well,
And they
what
said
does
this
it
is our
matter?
first female Sydney.
What does it
Sid.
They said Sydney,
They said this is our first female Sid. Her name is Sydney.
and that's 100% confirmed.
They announced it at the thingy.
Okay,
The Jump Festa or whatever it was called.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. That's Japanese and their names for stuff.
Come to Jump Festa.
Jump Festa. It's where you go and jump and celebrate, I guess.
First female Sid.
I see it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay. Just want to let all the ladies out there know that it's not that they're making a female Sid. It's that
You're just saying that the French subtitles
no.
are probably
I'm
more
saying
accurate
that spelling.
than 100 websites.
I'm saying spelling Sydney with a C is stupid.
Well,
But it would make sense following the series.
But I think it's retarded. Just
But it would make sense.
why can't we just call her Sid?
They probably do for short.
But why does it have to? Why just make it Sid? Don't make it
is
confusing.
this the first time they've ever had a weird name in a Final Fantasy game?
He's just stretching really hard so he won't be
Yeah.
wrong.
I'm not.
That's all.
No, I'm not saying I'm not wrong. I'm just saying it's stupid. If it is Sydney spelled with a C, then it's stupid.
I don't think it's stupid.
Is it, would it be the first stupid thing that's happened in a Final Fantasy game?
Yeah, no joke.
Not by a long shot.
I mean, look at Final Fantasy 13. The whole game.
There you have it. There you have it.
I can't speak.
Everybody
I
hates
can't
me
speak
now.
on that.
Oh, man.
Final Fantasy 13 is kind of meh to me.
What? I thought you
like-
liked it.
I do.
So why is it meh?
Modern games always trump like I said, I have categories 2D games, so it's still better than all the older Final Fantasies. But as far as like modern RPGs, it's not like by any means like a triumph.
You think it's a better game than Final Fantasy VII?
Yes.
Looks aside.
Yes. Oh, looks
Really?
aside.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that's like taking out a huge.
Well, a better looking game doesn't mean a better game.
Well, in my opinion, it does.
That is ridiculous. Wow.
I like good graphics,
Yeah, absolutely.
but they don't
Make
make
the
or
game.
break.
They immerse me more.
First of all,
So you were more immersed into
it's an I, not an E.
You were more.
Immerse is not a word.
Immersed. They immerse me
I
more.
feel so immersed in this.
I was like immersion. Never mind. That's also with an I.
I was going to say, what are you talking about? All right, let's wrap it up. 'cause
Hold
we're
on,
just
I
getting way
gotta
off
say
base
this.
here.
I just gotta say.
Oh my gosh.
So you like it because it's a better presentation of a worse story.
Yeah.
That's why you like it more than 7.
Sure. I mean, it's more immersive to me.
Look at his face.
All right, well, I can do the same thing. What's your favorite game? Take Final Fantasy VII story out of it.
Wait,
But
what?
the story is the meat of the
you
game.
You can't take something out. The games are the games, right? They are what they are, and all things being equal, meaning graphics are included, I like 13 better. I don't know how that's difficult.
No, that makes sense.
Right. Yes. If
No,
you
that
take,
that does.
If you say
making all things equal.
You
if you take okay, if you
but
make,
you just said 2 seconds ago that better graphics equals better game.
well, to me, sure.
Right.
So
That's not all things being equal then.
no, meaning you have to add the graphics. So if you take Final Fantasy 13's graphics to Final Fantasy 7's graphics level, yeah, 7's better, right? But
Right.
they're not the same. They're not on the same level graphically. So
Right.
therefore, 13's better.
So stories alone, you think 13 has a better story?
No, 7 has a better story.
Graphics are just more important.
Graphics are just more important to me.
I see.
Yeah, but no, 7's story by far is better than 13's. Don't get me wrong.
I'm with you.
graphics are more important. That's
Not more
that's
important.
a dirty sentence.
Not more important, but they're a huge part of especially gaming today.
So this is all
That's how a lot
because
of people
this is all
think.
because he couldn't admit that it was Sydney.
I'm wrong. It was
Right.
Sydney. It makes way more sense to be Sydney. I just don't like how they spelled it.
In
Just
your
call her
in your
Sid.
defense, that trailer did show it as Cindy.
It
did.
Yeah, just call her Sid though. We don't need to have a girl name for it. Just Sid. Hey Sid.
I'm sure they will.
Okay.
Sid Meier's Civilization.
She is dressed just like Sid does.
It's
though,
like
normally.
why we call Mark instead of Marcus.
That's true.
Sydney.
I know. I just
Like-
use, I like how she.
know
I like
why
how
this
she,
is so hard.
I like how she's dressed like Sid though. That's pretty cool. Like
She's-
kind of like the.
It's because
She's dressed like a mechanic
Well, that's
with
not-
a really low cut top.
Oh yeah. Sid got hot.
Oh my gosh! Who I think Ryan actually posted on our Facebook page because I had said on there like, "Oh man, they said this about Titan. It's going to be great." And then he pointed out like, "Oh look, Sid also brought the Titans," and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
It is a Japanese RPG after all.
So that's why Brian likes graphics so much.
Not because of memories, more because of like just the overall package.
All right, well we're gonna wrap it up now, anyways. Thank you everyone for listening to us go off topic several times throughout this episode. We apologize for that, but hey, we're just here to have a good time, which we did.
And thanks for listening to Mark's top 5, top 4, and top 3.
I only messed up twice.
And listening to him trying to remember what his top one was. My number one is, oh god, I lost my place.
Yeah.
Oh man. Really?
Hey, at least I whispered it nicely into the microphone for everyone to hear.
Oh, I'm going to turn that up. Don't you worry. Absolutely.
It's the loudest thing.
With that, this is the Frozen North signing off for episode number 53. We appreciate you listening once again. My name is JJ.
My name is Mark.
And my name is Brian.
Thanks again, and as always, keep on gaming.
Damn it, Brown! Our theme song was made available through the Creative Commons Attribution license by Ziphoid. The song title is Radical Fanfare.